Hello there. So, I've got another little magical idea for you guys. This is just tap water, nothing special done to it. And it does have a slice of lemon in it. Let me see whether I can turn this around. Can you see the lemon? Yes, you can. Okay. It does also have this little contraption on the side of it, which is actually a little bag on a sort of a thick type string. This contains my oil mixture that I've called Inner Otherworld. I'll put the link in the description. Why I did that, there's a video about that. It is an extremely soothing type of oil, essential oils mixture that I designed for myself basically, but I found it works fine for other people as well. That I basically use not even as a fragrance, I use it to hold. It has an energy signature, a vibration that you can feel. If you are ready for that type of vibration, it is very soothing and it just brings you in contact with your inner lost parts of yourself that tend to, want to come to the surface. And because it is so accepting of all those parts of us inside that tend to not be heard enough. Sorry, I'm really hot still and sweating. I just got out of the bath. And it is also a bit of a dark video, although it looks okay, I think. Because outside it's probably going to be the last really hot day of the summer. Tomorrow they're predicting 30 degrees. Today it's 33, what the last thing I read. And I'm just not having any. I'm keeping my house all closed up now, which is completely counterintuitive to me because I want to throw everything open. But I just don't. I'm done, with the heat. In parentheses. So, hence the, wiping of face and things. The idea is that just as with putting rocks in water for the water to absorb the properties, like rose quartz, amethyst, rock crystal, they tend to get used all three together in mineral inspired homeopathic water to drink, really, where you put the crystals in the bottom of a glass or a bottle, and you pour water on top of that, and you let that sit for a while, and then you drink the water and you just sort of imbibe the qualities of the crystals in that way. So in a similar way, I'm kind of trying this out here, because there's the little bottle inside here that has the actual mixture, the fragrance in it. It also has a sticker on the outside and the name and all the rest of it. And then also, in a parallel way of working, people have used coasters, for example, or cardboard or pieces of paper that they've written words on, and then set their water glass on top of that, where, the sort of message from the word percolates, if that's a word. I know that's a word, but, just trying here, into the water, and then you drink the water that has been sort of blessed in that way. So combining these two strategies, really, I'm using the energy properties of this little vial that's in here, and the container is just, to look pretty. It's a bit of a witchy thingamajig with beads on that I just like to work with. And I can sort of turn this, because it's a big fat beer glass, appropriately it has Magic Chouf written on it. It's a Belgian glass of Belgian beer, and but then I can, because it's on the string, I can sort of move this around the glass, and maybe I will have to let this stand for a while. I don't know, maybe it's instant, maybe it's already gotten into the water, I have no idea. Certainly it's just tasting like water with lemon in, which is already a blessing, and I will have to see how that develops as I go along. So I'll put this away for now, because yesterday I ended up doing a past life meditation using a big garnet stone that I should have brought along. Hang on a second. Being able to pause the camera is such a big deal. Here's the garnet. Let me see if that will focus. See how shiny that is? This was actually a fairly cheap stone. It was a steel at 10 euros. I remember, because it was a steel, so hence I remember. I'm finding that as to vibration, the garnet is the most obvious past life connector. Yeah, so I'm just making a kind of a witchy vlog here, probably with bits and snippets of this type, you know, just to put a couple of things together that I want to say at this point. I also want to go into the book, which is over here, and I will see whether I get to that today or tomorrow, because I do want to take things a bit more slowly in the coming week or so. That would be good. Except I have told myself this 100 times before, and I never really do slow down. It's not happening, and I'm still steaming up, so yuck. Never mind the glasses. I don't have to see you for you to be able to see me, okay? The past life that I'm trying to connect with happened probably in the south of France, probably in the 15th century or thereabouts. In the Alps, I have found a few more snippets of information. There was a definite sense of, I'm putting the stone away now, high mountains like in the Alps, but not really as I have seen them in my past holiday, but more like I've seen them in previous years in the French Alps. It's a bit of a different, I don't know, slightly less dramatic, still dramatic enough, and plenty grey rock and grey stone that I could perceive. There were a couple of other conclusions that I came to during the session. It was an intense session, and in the end, in the evening, I got a bit upset again about things, and what with the heat and not really being able to do any other things. You know, I can't really draw or write hardly, because everything's just kind of sticky and sweaty. So I am considering that I might have overdone it slightly, what with the upheavals during the weekend, and then going splash into a past life session like that and going all out. I'm probably a nutcase, as you can tell. Anyway, I do have my good moments, I think. Having said that, what ended up happening was that I sat in my meditation with my garnet stone, and I visualized like a garnet tunnel going directly from my earth line, so that line between my root chakra and the heart of the earth, right, where I'm sitting, a tunnel going straight through time, no matter how, to the earth line of the woman that held my emotional life, that held my heart life, basically, in whatever century that really was. And the overwhelming, so this tunnel has garnet all around it, like, and the force or the power of the garnet crystal creates this ease of traveling through time. It's like a time machine, basically. Only you have to all open up over here and to shut down the mind and all the. It's not like immediate, and it's not like there you just get transplanted from A to B. I found that I could approach her to the same level that I have approached her before. I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 times that this has happened to me, or that I have sought her out, because I have to, like I said, search and make the contact. It's not like something that happens automatically. The first thing then that comes immediately to the surface is the fact that she is giving birth. And she is in labor at the moment that she's dying. So all I tend to get always from this contact at that point is this constant, I get a bellyache. That's been the same. It's like having menstrual cramps. It's not like actually painful, but the pressure and it's there, okay? You have this overpowering emotion of being in that single-minded situation. I've never given birth in this body. So how, yeah, there you go. I had always sort of figured out that the fact that she has been probably in labor for an X number of hours at that time, by the time she passes away, she has already spent, I don't know, maybe even 24 hours or so in a fairly dark place, possibly in a dungeon under the earth, possibly in a prison cell, accused of witchcraft in Fort Kera, which is a name that kept coming back yesterday. Any odd how, what I find is that it's really hard for me to access any other information about her, or about her life, or her qualities, or what she is thinking, and so on and so forth, because there's this giving birth, this drama of, to the exclusion of everything else, overtaking her consciousness, that has been going on for, I don't know, a day or so. So at the moment she passes away, the moment I can access, everything is overwhelmed and overshadowed by the birthing process, or whatever happened really at that point. And so I had to sort of be really quiet. I also have to, I found yesterday, to allow myself to become her. And then I realized that there were really big mountains around me, and that the name Keras kept coming. I kept hearing that name. So I'm documenting this for whoever made, I have looked up Fort Keras. It's a fort that has been expanded by Vauban. I believe it's the 17th or 18th century. One of the architects that did a lot of military building up and out of fortresses in the Alps back in the day. And a lot of his fortresses. I've visited Briançon several times, which is another Vauban fortress, and they're really beautiful. They're really well made, and it's a rather different approach to military strategy. One thing that I've seen in a little video about this particular fort was that everything in the beginning, in the Middle Ages, the place where the people lived, the powder rooms, the weapons rooms, the storage, and all the rest of it was all collected up into one building. And what Vauban did was to extend everything to create outer walls and other buildings where the powder could be stored away from the people, and so on and so forth. So that made a lot of sense to me. However, to the extent that I've actually got anything past life going on here, which I'm still, this is a really different perception. It's a really different perspective from my normal everyday perspective that I have in this life. So that on the one hand, I tend to sort of makes me believe that what I'm seeing is actually, it's kind of convincing to me that these things have happened and that I'm actually accessing something that's really different from my late 20th, early 21st century perspective that I'm having today. So yeah, and the one extra bit that came to me yesterday that I thought was interesting was that I could feel very strongly, and it wasn't an emotion, it was just a sort of a fact that she was held back. Her emotional life, which should have been mine really, or which might have been mine, or maybe it will be mine again at some point if I manage to make all this happen, was held back. It was like a hand was in front of the way out. And maybe she wanted to go, and maybe she just couldn't step beyond that, or maybe it was just not allowed. Something stopped her right there. And that has never happened before. That I hadn't seen that before, let me put it that way. That it got to me that there was actually like an external agent of some sort holding her right there where she was. Weird. Right? I have no clue where this is all going. I'm just documenting my witchy things. And the Garnet stone has proven really useful, really friendly, really strong also in stabilizing me doing this type of exercise. It's not even that exhausting necessarily because it's a different activity, at least that's what I'm telling myself. I've been wearing this thing also, and maybe I have shown this before. I made this using a piece of deer bone and bits of amber and bits of beads and things that I had, especially to sort of to make for myself something that I could use that combines the psychological process of like the completion process in this life, working with emotions and experiences of my inner child, working with therapeutic processes, magical processes like the Inner Otherworld oils and all the rest of it. And then on the other hand, the meditation aspects, the investigating further into the spiritual possibilities, like past lives, actually finding both the dimensions that belong with me in this life and or other elsewhere, mystical dimensions, if you like. So that's it. I'm going to wrap this little bit up for now. Little, is it little? It's almost 20 minutes in. I can talk, can't I? I do have a bit more herb lore to share, but I will record that separately, and I may hopefully do a bit more herb business with you as time goes by. Okay, I'm trying to get myself to do slightly shorter and slightly, let's have something practical to talk about, or some bit of, something I've used to a particular effect, and then I can share that with you, and there you go. Okay, so I don't drive myself completely bonkers. Thank you for watching. Bye bye for now.